Okay, we've just gone and watched the Wolverine. It's basic synopsis. It's the Wolverine.
A lot more story driven than
I don't think so. I mean,
I thought it was. It was a lot more the story than it was action.
okay. Well, yeah, I'll give you that. But here's the synopsis, really. We come up on Wolverine, who, if you don't know and been under a rock, is a mutant who has healing powers and has had adamantium put into his body. He's met by this woman who's taking him to see a friend of his, which in a flashback it shows him save a Japanese man from the A-bomb. He's in a cavern or something, locked away.
It's like a well.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Like
I guess
well.
because he's a white guy and he's locked away, and then this
That's
general,
not why.
well, whatever, he general lets everybody go and tells them to make a run for it. You know, all the prisoners, because he doesn't matter. They know what's coming in those planes. They see the planes. They know what's coming. So he is about to kill himself with his compadres, a Supaco. Is that what it's called?
Seppuku, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Seppuku.
But he decides that he don't want to die, and Wolverine saves him, throws him into the big whale thing, and gets down there with him, puts a piece of metal over him, which you've probably seen in some of the previews, and pretty much burns himself to a crisp, but saves the guy with just a mark on his face. And then he wants to thank him, so he sends a woman after Wolverine, picks up Wolverine, and then takes him to Japan, where all hell breaks loose, which we will ruin today. Okay,
Yeah.
so to start off, he saves, or the guy dies. He's a grandfather. He wants to say goodbye before he dies. So he says goodbye. Asks Logan to save him, that he can transfer his powers,
Yes.
his healing powers, over to him. He dies in the night before anything can be decided and stuff.
Well,
So-
Logan did tell him, "You don't want what I have."
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna get to that. I just want to tell the synopsis. They go on the way, and during the funeral, the guy's granddaughter gets kidnapped. So Wolverine, or Logan, saves her. Why do I keep mentioning that up? And that's where it goes from there, and we will ruin it as we go now. Okay, so first thought, the first scene is him saving the guy, the flashback.
Yes.
Okay, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I thought it was well done. Now, one thing that you mentioned is about, how he let the people go because they, had him in the well because he was a white guy. I didn't feel that was the reason. I felt they had him in the well because he was the most dangerous of their prisoners of war. He was the one they really had to keep captive because they were afraid of him.
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, at that point, he's got, it's 60 or 50. I'm sorry, you war veterans that may get pissed off at this, or war historians, but it's somewhere during the atom bomb time when that happened, and
World
he's still
War
got
II.
the bone claws. He don't have the metal adamantium yet, he still has the bone claws. So, yeah, he might have been the most dangerous, but he had bones. It wasn't like he was holding razor-sharp knives at them, so...
Well, at the same time, too, they really couldn't kill him.
But, I mean, if he was that much dangerous, how'd they put him in the well?
Oh, you have
Obviously,
a
they
point
stopped
there.
him somehow.
Well, come on. They're not going to be able to go back and explain every single detail. I mean, they're just...
Well, yeah, but I just mean he's in there locked away. They've got locks and shit all around it.
Well, but the first prisoners that they let loose was a group of American prisoners because every one of them were, in military or in American uniform. They were all white.
Well, there was some Japanese they let out too, though, or some Oriental, I guess you'd say. People let out, might have been China or something. I don't know.
See, I didn't notice that. They all looked like American prisoners.
There was
to me in
American,
that
but there was
one.
also like not Oriental or a different,
Asian.
Yeah, Asian somehow. Like I said, he's about to. He don't want to die. He doesn't want to die. He sets Wolverine free. He says, "Run, go." He's like, "I'm safer down here," which they're an atom bomb. I guess is true. But three of his fellow generals sit down and perform I'll never get that right.
Seppuku.
Seppuku, and he is about to do it and crying. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to die. Well, Wolverine apparently gets out of that well, grabs him, rolls him in the damn well, and comes in after him.
Yeah.
Like I said, a piece of metal holds it over him and stops the fire from burning him. It burns the hell out of Wolverine, but it doesn't burn the guy except for a little bit on his face.
Yeah, it does look kind of gruesome.
Well, yeah, but
cool,
not as bad as it could be.
No.
And then I don't know how long they wait, but they wait before they go out. And I mean, it's a movie. I can deal with that, but I'm sorry, you ain't gonna be like, oh, it's 25 minutes later, or even 24 hours later. There's no food down there, obviously. There's nothing else. You know,
Right.
You're not gonna wait an hour and then go up and see, oh,
Well,
look, my world's burnt.
It wouldn't be safe even in a few days.
It won't be safe, but I mean, that's what. And then it was like, yeah, it's safe now. Let's go.
Well, it's safe enough for him. I mean, come on up. I'll watch you slowly die.
And then it goes into a scene with him on the mountaintop thinking about that. He's got long hair, beard, pretty much like me.
Grizzly Adams.
A little,
He
yeah,
has the
okay, more than me,
Grizzly
okay.
Adams
But he goes on his way and he sees a bear. Bear and him walk side by side, or not side by side, but a couple feet apart, and neither one bothers the other one, and the bear pisses on a tree. And then he goes into town.
Now, that's after Logan makes a mark on the tree, and that's the reason I said that he was marking his territory.
Yeah, Logan marks a tree with his claws, and the bear walks up and pisses on a tree, which I guess they're like, oh, I'll take this side, you take that side, or something. I guess it's like, this is my land, bitch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. It was a pissing contest.
Exactly, because the bear pisses.
But, yeah.
Logan would piss adamantium.
Oh, that's disturbing.
Ow, that would hurt, yeah.
Yeah.
But he goes into town to buy. He's got a few things in his little camps area, this little cave, whatever you want to call it. And he goes to buy batteries in town. Comes across hunters who have arrows, crossbows, a gun or two. Obviously, your redneck, as they played it off, it looked like hunters. And
which thankfully they didn't have that over accent.
yeah, well, I mean, they didn't really get rid of that. I mean, was they in Canada? Was they in America? Was they in the wilderness in Mexico? Who knows?
Yeah.
It doesn't really give, obviously they're American sounding, so we'll just go with they were somewhere in America.
Yeah.
But they go into the wilderness. He goes back to his camp. He hears gunshots and people screaming and crying and just noises of unhappiness. And goes down there, and in this camp, people have been eaten, or it bought pieces of bodies and stuff, and there was bear tracks.
Mm-hmm. Whole lot of destruction.
He goes to the bear, or follows the bear who's got an arrow in his side, or near his however you kill
His
a bear.
back. It was in his back.
Was in his back, but it didn't look like it was in a bad place. So I at first, it explains it later, but at first I was like, wow, it's just an arrow in his back. It's not really that bad a shot.
Right.
But he looks at the bear. Bear obviously can't fight back. He's just laying there gargling, dying, and he has to slit his throat.
Yeah.
He looks at the arrow, takes it down to the city. In the bar, obviously a bar fight.
There's always a bar.
In Wolverine, there's got to be a bar fight.
Yeah. Hadn't thought of that, but it's true.
Every single one of them. He's even I ain't seen First Class, but I hear he makes an appearance in a bar. But obviously he's a drinker, but yet you never see him drink, but maybe once or twice.
I think he needs to stay out of bars.
Apparently, I don't want trouble. Let me go to a bar.
Yeah.
He finds the hunters talking about he killed one of his friends, two of his friends, or something like that. Which, from the looks of it, all of them were still in the bar, so he might have been lying. But
well, it's what come across like he was talking to people that he met in the bar. He was bragging about how
he got away
had
from
killed
the
bear. He had survived when so many other people had died.
Yeah, it's like he did what he could. When Logan pulls out the arrow after talking to him for a minute, sticks it in his hand, and pretty much forces him to tell the truth, which was the arrow had poison on it.
Pouring liquor on the wound. I mean, that's pretty painful.
Yeah, he poured liquor on the wound, which was like, I mean, if it's even poison, arrow, middle of the hand, I mean, like that little skin part right there, not the hand itself, but the skin part. Ow.
Yeah, I imagine that would sting just a little bit.
But he admits to showing that it's I don't know how to describe it. It's poison in it that killed the bear, not actually the arrow itself. So that's why the bear died. It suffered, and it was going nuts, and the poison was eating away at him. Truth was, they fired the arrow and then let the bear, instead of following the bear and killing him like humane way, they let the bear loose, just run. So the bear
rampage through a campsite,
came across a campsite and just killed the people. You know, it wasn't trying to home. It was dying, and it didn't know what to do but lash out.
Yeah.
So of course he beats up 2 people real quick, and then a woman walks in, an Oriental woman, which I thought looked like the girl Jade from Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but I looked it up. It's not. Nobody's a name in this, with the exception of maybe 2 people in America. So some are other ones, but in America only 2 are names, and one is not really a big name, but he's somewhat well known.
And come much later.
And comes much later, yeah. But she ends up stopping him from killing all the people, and takes them out without killing anyone. She brings out a sword, makes a little speech, and chops about 7 things in half.
Is it just me, or did that seem just a little bit
overdone?
A little bit crazy, because I mean, you're in the middle of a high tension fight, in the middle of a bar, everything's going crazy, and then all of a sudden some woman steps in front of you and says, "Oh, by the way, somebody I knew, or somebody you knew from a long time ago, sends his regards. Hey, take a look at this sword. Want to go with me on an airplane?" And he just leaves. I mean, to me, that's the way it come across. It was like, okay, let's just skip on out of here.
Let me say this. I forgot to mention this. Spoilers. In the movie, Jean Grey. Well, I mean, you see in the preview one time, but in the movie, throughout the movie, as Jean Grey, and she just. I mean, I think it's a great thing. I think this was well done in the movie. They bring her in when they need to.
They're almost like dream scenes.
Like dream, or like his conscience, really.
Yeah.
She's his conscience, and it's throughout, like, you wanted to be with me, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's his conscience throughout the movie, and she still has the Jean Grey look, which if you've seen the previews, she's got the red hair, and this girl who comes and gets him has red hair. So I think he's just got a thing for redheads. I think he's just like obsessed with like girls with red hair. Yeah, I must do what they say.
Yeah, okay. Hey, maybe I should meet him.
You never know.
Hey, it went dark and there's light.
Yeah, it does that. And so they go on. He goes with her to Japan. I mean, she just says, "Let's go to Japan." He goes to Japan to meet the guy. Yeah. Go to say goodbye.
After saying, "I'm not going to Japan," then suddenly it's okay.
Well, she gives a little speech, and then he's like, "Oh, okay." Like I said, I think it's just hair.
Yeah.
He's like, "Red hair. Yes, I must have her."
Okay. Fair enough.
That's what I took it. Okay, so he gets to Japan, goes into the house, meets the grandfather meets his friend who's now a grandfather. He has a son who's really powerful, really he's a good martial artist. They show that. He's next in line for the throne. The grandfather is a famous man in Japan, the most powerful.
Toshida, isn't it?
I don't remember what they said, but he's the most powerful businessman in Japan at that point. Yes. And his son is set to inherit once the father dies, or grandfather dies.
Massive corporation.
Yeah, exactly. Like dollars, everything, billions, corporations. Mm-hmm. Well, he goes and meets him. Cool visual effects. It shows him laying on one of those, I don't know if you remember the needle points that you put your hand into and it makes an imprint of the hand in needles.
Yeah. Oh, it did look like those, didn't it?
It pretty much was his bed, and when he wanted to lean up, it would lean him up. It would fliggle, and which was cool.
Did his arms the same way.
Exactly.
It was really cool.
But the thing is, with that character, I like the guy. I thought he did a good job, but I could not get over the fact he looked like Sulu from Star Trek.
George Takei.
George Takei. I swear to God, he looked like George Takei. I could not forget. I was like,
He really
George.
did.
I was waiting for hello.
Oh, that would have just ruined the whole thing.
I thought it was George Takei for the first 20 minutes.
Wow.
But he did a good job. He could play the George Takei story. If they ever make George Takei's book into a movie, this guy should play it.
I think he would do a good job. Anyway, moving on.
He talks to the granddaughter, who leaves and tells Wolverine he needs to get cleaned up, so they shave him, do everything. And I'll say this,
felt violated.
throughout this movie, women, you will love it, because there is women who love Hugh Jackman. There is, God knows, 40, 50 freaking shirtless scenes with him getting cut, checking a cut, doing this, doing that, everything. I gotta take my shirt off to fight this guy.
Even girls who like him are gonna at some point wish he would put his shirt back on.
I doubt it. I think they'll just be like, I must own this movie for this reason.
Oh, wow.
But going on to the movie, I'm sorry. I like Hugh Jackman as an actor. I like him in a lot of different movies. But Jesus Christ, can he keep his shirt on any of the movies? Because even the ones that were probably more serious, he probably has a shirtless scene somewhere in them.
I think it's payback for all the gratuitous nudity of women throughout years and
Well, it's
years.
not gratuitous. It's welcome. Men are visual, women are not. Most of the time. Most of the time.
But I'm just saying, in all these years you see women completely nude, and then, you see like one movie where a guy's nude and everybody goes
no woman
crazy
was
over
naked
it.
in this movie. They even had sex and kept her fully clothed. He had
Which
his shirt
I thought
off.
was great, by the way.
Yes, and obviously in this movie, the gratuitous sex scene, which I'll get to. Okay, so going on with the movie, where did I leave off? Oh, the taking the bath. Okay, well,
In the bed,
he's
and
in the
him taking
bed.
the bath.
He's dreaming of Famke Janssen, Jean Grey, and he ends up getting woken up by the oncologist of the grandfather, the doctor of the grandfather, the sexy ass Savannah, whatever the hell her name was.
Svetlana.
Oh my God, she was beautiful. Those eyes, those eyes in that movie. But I thought I'd seen her in something else. She looked really familiar, but she's not been in nothing American that's really popular that I know of. We looked it up too.
Yeah, I thought she looked
but she looked
very
really familiar, but she's not been in anything that we would know. According to IMDb, anyways. There might be something they missed. She is the oncologist. She ends up kissing Logan while he's thinking of Jean Grey, and see green mist come out of her, and then she's gone. So he thinks it's just part of the dream that he's just dreaming about her. He gets up to the granddaughter, Mayako, M-A-I-K-O, Makio. I can't remember her name was. It's M word. I'm gonna call her granddaughter. The granddaughter talks to the father, and they're arguing about something. He slaps her, and she proceeds to try to jump off the cliff of the house. She's trying to kill herself, and you don't know why yet, and then Logan runs out and saves her like he always does. I don't want to deal with
save the day.
Exactly, fucking Mighty Mouse. He's not the Wolverine. He's the Mighty Mouse. I don't want to be involved. He gets involved. I don't want to be involved. Then he gets involved.
He's nosy.
Extremely nosy. Yeah, I mean, like for somebody who wants to be left alone, he sure is into everybody's shit. So they go on and to the funeral after the grandfather dies that night. At the funeral, hella shit happens. And it's, I hate to say it, but it gives it away a little bit. The blonde woman shows up all sexy and Bridget Nielsen like in Beverly Hills Cop 2 if you want to. Yeah,
with her little video camera constantly trained on different people.
And she proceeds to go into the funeral. There's a guy on a roof who Logan sees, and it's obvious he's there. It's not like, oh, he's hiding in the shadows. He's on top of the roof where you just look like this, and he's there.
It's kind of like a silver roof with a guy wearing black on it.
Yeah, it made no sense for that part. He's there to protect him. I mean, obviously, if anybody was trying to kill the granddaughter or kill the father, this son of a bitch would have been the first one taken out because he was seen, obviously.
Oh yes, very, very out.
And
in
it's
the
a
open.
Win Lee, I think, is it Win Lee something. I can't remember his Win Lee Hun, but any of you that would know him, he's the second name sort of in it. He plays this character a lot, like the regal assassin type. He played it in
Yeah.
Elektra. He played it in another movie I can't think of, but Elektra, the one that had the wind powers. If you watched Elektra, and
I
God
knew I'd
forbid if
seen
you
him
did.
before.
I mean, it was an okay movie, but for visual effects and Jennifer Garner, that's about it. Story was shit. Terrence Stamp was what made that movie for me. But he's in this as a protector assassin guy. He's head protector of the clan of this family.
The black, what they call him?
The Black Knight. I don't know.
Wow, yeah, that's totally not it. But
So they go on their way, and Logan walking in spots another clan of Yakuza assassins, which
dressed as monks.
which he notices the arm tattoo, which if you know anything about Yakuza, it goes all the way up the body and everything. But he sees the tattoo and tries to stop him when they tell him to leave him alone, and then he sees the other one, starts to walk at him and gets shot. And when he gets shot, he starts bleeding, and it doesn't heal. And
he's all confused and stuff, which is cool.
And he, of course, he goes fighting on, and he gets delirious and disoriented, and keeps trying to save the granddaughter because they're trying to attack the granddaughter. Everybody else kind of flees. The blonde-headed chick is recording the whole thing on a damn iPhone or a damn camera.
She's just sitting there the whole time, just like.
And the guy in black, I forgot what they called him, but the assassin in black, he shoots all the people trying to save the granddaughter and helps Logan. So you obviously he's a good guy. He goes on his way and he's helping them as they're going through town. This shit happens, that shit happens. I mean, Yakuza everywhere. And I gotta say this.
Big fight scene.
Big fight scene, and then they go to a train. And any of you seen the preview know about
Even
this train.
bigger fight scene.
And last week, if you watched, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it is now, if you watched my preview, him flying through the air was the thing. And it's a bullet train. It travels 300 miles an hour.
That part was funny.
The thing that was really funny was the Yakuza. They were in Blues Brothers suits with big dark glasses on a train. Obviously, they're bad guys. Obviously, they're there to kick somebody's ass. It's not like they're blending in with anybody. They are standing out like they want you to know this is Yakuza. They got guns, which is also Yakuza. Why would Yakuza use guns? Shouldn't they be like amazing martial arts and sword fighters and shit?
Well, no, because today, the Yakuza now are it is gun related.
Well, okay, but it's just, you got to be the Blues Brothers to be Yakuza. I expected one of them to break out and go, this is, we were sent here by God.
Oh, that would have been just as bad as that. I kick ass for the Lord.
If any of you seen Dead Alive, that's from that.
Terrible, great movie.
Yeah, horrible movie, but so worth the watch. If you liked Robot Jocks, you'll love that. Which this guy, somebody was in Robot Jocks. The main bad guy was in Robot Jocks.
Nice.
Going on. Anyway, they break in over the bullet train. 2 or 3 Yakuza get pulled out. One ends up on top of the roof of the 300-mile-an-hour train.
2 of them, if you remember.
One of them ends up on the roof, and then Wolverine goes out with one of them as attached to his back.
Well, yeah.
So he stops himself on the side of the train, and they end up on top before they get hit something. So you got 2 Yakuza on top, one about 60 feet back, one about 10 feet behind Wolverine. Wolverine's got adamantium claws in this thing, holding him from flying away. And I'm sorry if it's going... And the other guy's got knives. Both of them have knives in the fucking train holding themselves. Mm-hmm. If this is going 300 miles an hour... This is what pissed me off about this movie. This is one thing. Going 300 miles an hour... How the hell is a hand holding on to a knife of a fat Yakuza gonna stop you? you're gonna get slung the fuck out. That knife's gonna go, oh, well, hell no.
All I can say is when it goes to video.
If it was like, oh my God, if it was a sword, something that was something like 42 feet long, yeah, he could, double grip maybe. I mean, a fucking 7-inch knife, 6-inch knife in the fucking 300-mile-an-hour train. 300-mile-an-hour train.
Okay, you have to suspend disbelief because if you don't, you're gonna get thrown out of the movie.
Like I said, here goes one, here goes the other, here goes one, here goes the other, and Wolverine flips, catches himself. That was kind of cool, but then it's just, it's just flying through the air. The trains go 300 miles an hour. They proceed to let go and jump over bars that are about to hit them in the head. And if you jump, you're going to end up following that fucking bar. You're not going to just jump in the air and go the train flow. 300 miles an hour is pushing against you. 300 miles. Physics, people. Physics.
I will say one thing. When it goes to video, somebody has to take a clip of that part right there and set it to some upbeat classical song just for the shits and giggles. Come on.
It's Raining Men.
That would be great, but they'd have to do it at the beat of them popping up and down and stabbing the train.
Or like Mortal Kombat. But I mean, if they jumped and let go of this train, they're going to go land right back on the same spot.
Or even just a little ways down.
Anyway, he kicks their ass and he gets back on the train.
When doesn't he kick ass?
With the granddaughter. They get off the train at the next exit or somewhere down the line, end up in the bad part of town. End up in a seedy motel, and Wolverine's still bleeding, just profusely bleeding.
Love hotel.
And the Love Hotel. No, this wasn't where the sex scene happened. But no. they go into the room. She sleeps. He freaking passes out. These bullets, he has Jesus Christ, they shoot Wolverine about 1,700 fucking times. He don't have healing abilities at this point. He lost his healing abilities. He's bleeding to death.
They got him in the chest and the arm and the leg twice, I think.
But that's not all. They kept shooting him through the goddamn movie.
Well, I'm talking about at this point.
Oh, well, they kept shooting him through the movie. I'm just going to go with it. They shot him through the movie, and I'm sorry, this motherfucker doesn't die. And if you ain't got healing powers, I can understand if he still has healing powers. He didn't. He should be dead.
But he's the Wolverine.
And then they pull the bullet. A guy pulls the bullets out. A cute little scene with them. Sews him up. And
a veterinarian student.
I wasn't really gonna go into that, but okay. But he pulls him out and helps him out, and then they proceed to go to the granddaughter's home, or a home that no one would know about in the South. During this time, you find out that her fiance, who's in this movie somewhat as a creep, a nice guy at first, a politician, and who she's arranged marriage to, so that her father arranged for, and it's just like he's there. He's more political than anything at this point. He's not worth a crap. He's just there, and
he's a filler character.
Exactly, he's a complete filler with him. Although that one scene was funny, we'll get to. He, what was it? Well, he's there. The father, all of them are together, and we find out that pretty much the father has put the hit out on his daughter. In the house, the daughter explains that she was becoming the heir to the grandfather's fortune, that the father wouldn't get nothing, it would go straight to the granddaughter. So he's trying to off her to get the riches, and he's using
because the will hasn't been read yet.
And it hadn't been read
for 3 days.
And she knows, and she doesn't think her father knows, but he does know, and he arranges the marriage so that she will marry this guy who's the father's pretty much henchman. He'll do whatever the father says. So he's trying to kill his daughter. You find out at this point he's trying to kill the daughter. And then they talk about the will, and it's a place that nobody will know, that nobody will find her there, but it's her father. Wouldn't he know? I'm sure she might have thought that.
Oh, it's my family home, but my family's chasing me.
One trying to kill me, so obviously they're going to get her later on. The place she stays, you find out, is where the bomb was set off, and it's where Wolverine had saved the grandfather. and it gives a little backstory about that, or he tells the granddaughter about it, and they of course go back to the house. He has a bad dream, no, he's trying to get dressed because it's raining, and chest shot of him and sex scene. Although it's not really a sex scene, it's just a few minutes. I think, I don't know if the movie's PG-13 or...
They kiss each other.
If it's PG-13, it explains it, but there is a lot of cussing in it. He cusses a lot of people. But
yeah.
Not a lot of cussing, but he cusses a lot of people.
Well, really all that happens is he kisses her, and then they wake up the next day. And,
her in a nightie, him in a bear shirt. He talks in his sleep. He tells her, she keeps asking him through the movie who Jean is. And if you've seen X-Men 1, 2, and 3, pretty much you know.
I don't think he ever explains that.
He doesn't ever tell her no. Well, he tells her she died, and he killed her. And she's still there. Huh? You killed the woman you seem to be talking about a lot? Man, I'll stick around. Cool. What women will do for a manly chest. Him. I don't know if that's love. Well, yeah, I guess it could. I guess they try to play it off like it was love. It was a forced love interest.
Yeah.
Forced, and the whole time the friend, the blonde-headed girl is there, and she's flirting with him too. And I kind of thought they would end up together, but nope. He ends up with the granddaughter. And then of course she gets kidnapped by her father's henchmen, who are oh, it's okay. Wolverine chases them down, doesn't happen, kills one. He asks where he's gone, and the guy said he'll never talk, and of course he knows where to go. The redheaded friend comes and gets him, and she apparently has premonitions of the future, of your death. She don't get exact. It's like looking through a keyhole, as she says in the movie. She gets glimpses but doesn't know exactly. She tells Wolverine he's going to die with his heart in his hand. He says, I don't care, take me to the place. And you think they're going after the father, but it ends up going after the boyfriend.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend is a sex addict, drunk, thing. And this scene was okay.
Be prepared for butt shots.
Well, not really bad butt shots, but him in little red underwear.
Oh, yeah. I was not.
But it's funny because they use the movie cliche I laugh at all the time. This is, 2013. And when he walks in on them, the girls walk away, and you hear a record skip, like it's getting moved off. And I'm like, a CD doesn't do that. An MP3 doesn't do that. Radio.
Yeah, somebody would have had to have done that.
And there was no bands in the room. And there was no record player in the room. There was nothing. And it does the music stop.
It was the DJ in the wall, okay?
Yeah,
the peeping Tom. Yeah, he had a peeper. That's what it was.
Or maybe it was the girl over there. Maybe it was by the fucking redhead. I just wanted to do it for the movie. Well, he says, tell me the truth, and kicks his ass a little bit. And he finally tells him what he wants to hear. And Wolverine proceeds to... Wolverine proceeds to throw him over the skyscraper, that room that he's in, the penthouse room, over the banister to hit the ground. And he said, I told you what you want to know. You told me what something I didn't want to hear anyway. And he throws him.
I didn't like it.
And the girl goes and looks over, and you see him in a pool about five floors down. She goes, how did you know there was a pool there? Wolverine goes, I didn't. That was one of the funny moments. That was one I was like, yes.
That was good.
I didn't know the pool was there. I just want to kill the motherfucker.
He just threw his ass over like he wasn't
like
nothing.
It wasn't nothing. Like he really is like, I don't know how'd you know there was a pool there? I didn't. Woo! That was great. So they proceed to go to the father's, who, while talking to his daughter, gets attacked by ninjas. Quiet ninjas, good little scene of them taking people out.
I actually like that. They were very stealthy in that part. They were very quiet. It was very well done.
That's probably because the movie just turned off the sound.
Yeah, that's totally what it was. That's what it was.
But no, it was a really pretty scene, really good scene. Why do I keep saying pretty about scenes? It was a very well done scene.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. So pretty. He proceeds to. They take out everybody, and surround the father, and it turns out that it's the ninja from our roof scene who's there to protect her.
Who actually did it right this time.
Yeah, he protected her and took her to safety is basically what he was doing. And the blonde-headed woman is with him. She's a mutant. She's got venom powers. They call her Viper. She's got venom powers where she can lick you and give you some kind of disease. She can give you diseases.
Oh, that just sounds so disturbing the way you put it.
Well, it's a lizard tongue. She's got like a lizard tongue. Think of Toad in the first. Shut up. We're not taking this that far.
Anyway, proceed.
But she takes all them out and or takes him out and gives him some kind of disease when she licks him with her lizard tongue on his face. Gives him some kind of warts and
she has some kind of like a breath power too.
Yeah, and the breath power that gives you that. And so he runs into the little pond thing that they have in the house. Their Japanese garden thing.
Bonsai.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the bonsai.
Or
It's the
Zen
tree.
garden anyway.
Yeah, it's the water in the Zen garden. They leave with her and go to the hideout, I guess. And then Wolverine and the redheaded girl show up. He lays on the bed that the grandfather was on and scans himself, finds out that Viper girl had put a parasite on his heart to stop his healing ability. So he cuts into himself, and while he's trying to get it out, the father reappears and tries to kill him. The redheaded girl and him have a good little fight.
And that's the part that just really threw me, because it left you believing at first that Viper had killed him, because she laid open his face, she breathed on him, she licked his face.
4 or 5 people she did the same thing to, just died.
Yeah.
Yet he didn't die. And his face didn't really look that
so that's why it left me kind of just going, because in that one scene right after she licked him and then breathed on it twice, his face bubbled up.
Well,
it
I'll talk about that when we get to the main villain, which is obvious, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, they have a fight scene to save Wolverine, and like I said, I thought she would be the love interest just because she cares for Wolverine. She fights her ass off. She willing to die for Wolverine. So I thought she'd be the love interest. She
talking about the redhead, right?
Yeah, the redheaded Oriental woman, who, like I said, I thought was Jade, but wasn't Jade from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. She fights her ass off, and then Wolverine, she dreamed that he's going to die with his heart in his hand. Right there is where it's going to be taken out. Or what we thought, of course. We didn't, because anybody that watches these kind of movies knows exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
He takes the thing out, which spider-looking thing, it dies in his hand, and he dies.
It almost like crumbled and fell apart. It made me think more like a robot.
It needed it needed something to hang on to, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
Nanobot.
Yeah.
But he dies, and she's still trying to save him. And of course, she gets hit. The bad guy, the father, goes to take the final blow, and oh my God, whatever could happen? Do you think it could be Wolverine saves her? Yes.
Of course.
He wakes up, fucking sticks his knives between the sword, and
I like the tearjerker music they were playing. It was like, you're waiting for him to wake up, and he doesn't wake up, and you're waiting for something to happen, and it doesn't happen, and the music's playing, and it's all tragic, and inside you're going, okay, it's time to wake up. Come on, wake up. Because he's going
it's obvious, yes. This is one thing I'll say at the end. It's an obvious movie. There's obvious points. There's no surprises, really. Let's see. They go on their way. He fights the father, which is kind of a cool fight, too. The father pretty much was kicking his ass. If he hadn't had feeling powders, he would have been dead.
Yes.
He was a great fighter.
Very good fight.
And then he finally...
Even if it did throw me out.
Well, he finally says, I'm not fighting you. Live with the fact you were trying to kill your daughter. That's your punishment. What's the word? Dishonor.
Yeah.
That's your dishonor to live with. And of course, he still tries to fight Wolverine over, ended up killing him. So really, that was no reason. I'm not going to kill you. Let's kill you. And he kills him.
Yeah. Live with the knowledge for the next 5 minutes.
Exactly. Not even 5 minutes, like a minute.
Yeah. And I was so expecting that. I mean, I was hoping that they would break away from that, he would just kind of maybe fall to his knees and say, man,
to go on the next scene, you see vials of blue stuff, like Wolverine when he got adamantium put in him. You see that there. in the movie, I forgot to mention this, in mid-movie, I just kind of throw it out there too, just I guess, oh, will you catch this? And those of us that pay attention will.
Yes.
Said that he collected the grandfather collected adamantium through the years, spent millions on adamantium. Billions on adamantium, so getting as much as he could. And so
And they
Wolverine,
also had the little creatures in a couple of those bottles.
were adamantium as well.
Yes,
Oh,
if you
I didn't pay no
remember.
attention to that.
Now that I did. When he was laying on the bed of needles and stuff, it showed a shot of 2 jars.
Well, yeah, but they were empty,
liquid.
but it doesn't say they were adamantium.
No,
though.
I'm talking about at the first of the movie.
Yeah,
it showed
they're
the
flying
creatures
around.
in it, and then later on in the movie, it showed them not in the jars anymore. And if you remember, I said they're inside of him.
Well, yeah, it showed the grandfather had one too.
Yeah.
Those were the 2
But
of
see,
them.
one of them was inside of Logan. And that's where that one came from.
I knew that's what you was trying to get at, but it was just like, I think they were just trying to build for the adamantium. That's all that was.
Yeah.
Then of course they see a as they're walking out, the redheaded woman sees a blueprint of a suit. So I'm
samurai suit,
Captain
yes.
Obvious here. You know what the suit is for. You know, if you watch the movie, you know what's going to happen, and I'm going to spoil it right here. So if you don't want to hear who the villain is in the end,
Turn
cut
it off.
If you don't care, you're going to know anyway at this point. At this point, you're just going to be like, that's the grandfather. Yep. It's the grandfather. Grandfather builds an adamantium suit, and he's inside of it, and he's trying to take over Logan for
His healing
for
abilities.
for his healing abilities. Obviously, because he said at the beginning he was going to do that.
He wanted them given to
Hang
him.
on, let me say this though. Wolverine proceeds to fight through a bunch of ninjas. I mean, this was a cool scene, but he fought through shitloads of ninjas, getting shot with arrows that had wires on them just to get held in place. He ends up getting away, of course, and they go to the just hilarious. They go to the henchman's home, which is a huge glowing building on the side of a fucking mountain. The only building on the side of this mountain. I mean, like, here's Captain Obvious, you see like movies and TV shows. Dr. Robotnik in Mega Man series. This is his castle. It's right there, the side of the mountain. Obvious.
I said that it looked like the Shinra Corporation. It really
Shinra.
did. It was really, really big.
Obvious.
It was glowing.
Obvious.
It had like a plate look to it, with several different layers, and it made me think of the Shinra Corporation from Final Fantasy VII.
I mean, but it did. It was just like a group of fighters. I said, what did I say? Street fighters shot on.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bunch of fighters and a big castle that were, not castle,
People
but
popping
big,
out of everywhere with no real rhyme or reason.
Exactly. And so he gets through all that, gets there. Well, they stop him and they lock him up. He is in these chain things, holding his arms, and
has been weakened again partially.
Yeah, has been weakened a little bit. Not to the point of not healing, but been weakened. He talks to the Viper woman while the assassin who's in love with the granddaughter talk to each other. He wants her to just let it be. This is his grandfather's wishes, which, like I said, obviously the grandfather's in suit. It's not at this point. You're obvious. It can't get more obvious. But yet they still try to dig it in.
The one thing I didn't understand was why Viper was doing. I mean, was it simply for the money? Was it for the evil? It never fully explained.
Well, she
why.
said she had been with the family for years.
Well, yeah, but that still doesn't explain the,
Oh yeah, it didn't give her a backstory whatsoever. And did the guy save her? Did he get her out of prison?
What was her motivation?
She's just like, I'm just doing it because the grandfather asked me to.
Yeah,
it's his wishes. They don't really give it a reason, a rhyme or reason.
They don't flesh her out very well.
It's got to be money or something. But I mean, they never say it. They never fucking tell you shit about
would you
it.
fight that hard? I'm talking to the death for money. It'd have to be a hell of a lot of money.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, it said that he had enough to throw around, but I mean, still,
Well, she proceeds to piss Logan off, and he sticks his claws out. Then the machine locks. It's got him by the hands, but it locks good with the claws out. That's what they needed. They needed the claws to extend out.
And they locked his hand. They locked the claws.
They locked the claws where he couldn't bring them back in, and they try, what's his name again? The assassin and the granddaughter. He tries to kiss her, tries to tell her just to stay out of the way. This is for better, and maybe we can be together. And she goes, maybe so, and they'll kiss. And she proceeds to stab him in the leg and runs out the door. I guess not, huh?
Yeah, no. No.
And then the big creature decides to stand up. And who could be in that suit? I don't know. Takes his adamantium sword. It's all adamantium creature. It's like a samurai warrior, giant samurai warrior. Takes his sword out.
Which is very well done.
Which starts glowing fire and to chop off the adamantium claws. The granddaughter gets in the way of this, and he goes to chop, and as the granddaughter gets away, you see the machine just kind of go and chop the wrong thing because he's trying not to hit her. Gee, could it be the grandfather? I don't know. And then cuts the thing that lets Wolverine out. Wolverine proceeds to fight this, and while Jade's trying to come up the side of the wall or something, they go at it for a minute. What's his name? The assassin, I keep forgetting what his name is. The assassin shoots the machine in the eye socket or whatever, and that gets his attention off Wolverine, and he tells him, he's like, this ain't the way, master. Gee, could it be the grandfather?
Yeah. I mean, that if you didn't already know it.
I got it in the fucking 45 minutes before this.
Yeah, but if you didn't get it by that point, if you
didn't get it by that point, you're
a
fucking retard. Sorry, folks, memory card went full, so apparently we've been talking about an hour. But if you don't know, at that point, the assassin is calling him master, and like I said, I freaked out just a second ago, but I'm kind of over it now.
It'll be okay.
Then Jade comes up and, the assassin knocks the blonde-headed chick like down 3 stories, and they fight. I'm sorry, it's mean to say, they fight on the Batman ladder.
Yeah.
They fight on the Batman thing, and
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, if you saw Dark Knight, this is the walkway, and then falling into abyss kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They fought this out, and then, I mean, I don't know what to say about it. He knocks her down about 3 rings. She has weird skin, and she peels it off and ends up being bald, which I don't know why they just couldn't have peeled off every bit of skin. I guess to save her so she wouldn't die from the fall. But they peel off the skin, and she's bald-headed. Who would you say, Voyager? Voyager from Star Trek. I don't remember that character, but just a bald Sinead O'Connor. That's basically what she looked like. Still was hot. I won't lie. Still was hot, but she had no hair.
I'm sorry. Women with no hair just look really super
I just keep
weird.
thinking, nothing compares. But
okay.
But they end up Jade fighting her.
You just keep calling her Jade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's fine.
The red-haired
Moving on.
woman fought her, and how did she die? Did she take her out?
Yeah, she hung her. Remember?
She stuck her tongue out, the lizard tongue, and the red-headed fighter takes it around her throat, jumps up, pulls it, and hangs her by it, and then something else comes down and hits
it's almost like an elevator.
Yeah, elevator. Something just knocks the shit out of her.
And then she's just kind of,
so she's gone.
hanging up.
She's dead. And then
I was pretty amazed by that part. I really liked that.
And then, of course, the assassin gets killed by the master.
Who, at this point, we don't know who it is.
Oh, we don't know who it is. And then Wolverine chops the creature's head off. Or no, Wolverine has one of his claws cut off. So they're gone. He's only got one hand.
And he's trying to climb back up the side of the...
End up chopping the head off the adamantium master.
Well, now, diamond cuts diamond, so it's plausible.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll tell you that in a minute, though. There's something else that just get under my skin. Okay, so he cuts the head off of this, and proceeds on for a second. Wolverine ends up falling out of the big mountain castle side of it, and tries to climb back up. The creature grabs him by the hand without the claw, puts his hand over, and it ends up shooting little drills into his adamantium, and does the same thing to the other hand, cuts the things off and ends up drilling into his hand. So he's got a hold of him like this, and it's drilling into adamantium.
It's sucking the bone marrow.
How would drilling into the adamantium, which has nothing to do with his healing ability, it was put inside him. Even it's if you want bloodstream, he still could just cut his hand, suck it, fucking.
I took it to be that he was drilling into the claw itself, which was sheathed around bone, and that he was actually sucking out the bone marrow itself. It had nothing to do with the adamantium. The drills were made of adamantium so that it would be able to drill through. And that's
still though. I mean, how's that bone? It's just claw. I mean, it's just metal claws. There's no bone there. And I'll tell you what in a minute.
No, the adamantium actually was encircling his bones. His skeletal structure.
Okay, then so when it cut his bones off, right?
Yeah, which would leave. But
how?
It would leave
Because
the opening.
here's a little spoiler. He ends up shooting the fucking bone claws back out after the adamantium's cut off. So explain that to me.
Healing ability.
Whatever.
Regrowth.
Okay.
Suspend disbelief. Come on.
Okay.
It's a mutant movie.
I'll give you that. He regrew the bone. As long as it wasn't metal, I was okay. Okay, I can give you that. He regrew the finger bones. That I'm okay with.
Yeah, what a point.
You won't very often, you know that. But like the creature grabs, pull, and all of a sudden, oh look, he comes out of he sticks his head out of the fucking creature that he cut the head off of.
This far?
It's the
grandfather. Oh my god! It's so hard to believe. I know.
Biggest
it was
letdown in the movie.
I thought I was going to
obvious. Too fucking obvious. So, the daughter grabs one of adamantium sticks while the grandfather's
telling him, don't be so surprised.
Don't be so surprised. I'm the one that was in it. Well, we're not surprised. Yeah, we're obvious. Obvious.
Calm down.
Chill.
Okay.
I am chilled. I'm fine. And he grabs the hand. He's doing the I won because you're losing yourself. So the grandfather's becoming younger, and Wolverine's getting older, and then
looking kind of gross in the process.
What could happen considering you saw her grab the adamantium? Oh well, maybe she slings it at the motherfucker's head. Sticks an adamantium claw that was cut off in the grandfather's head.
And
does
this
the same
is the
thing
part
to his
that
neck.
Lost me completely, because she stuck it in his head, and yet he was still talking.
Yeah. He was like right here. I mean, you'd be dead if anything.
His
blood would have killed him at that point, if not old age like it was supposed to.
But he was still talking and still able to kind of swipe his arms around a bit. And,
well,
hey,
no, he wasn't attached that way. Yeah, he let go of the he let go of the attachment because. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how he stayed alive unless the healing ability had been in there somehow. They never explained that. But he still talks for a few minutes. They stab him in the neck. He still talks. Oh, what you done, your grandfather? What are you doing? And then Wolverine. This is what pisses me off too. Adamantium suit. Wolverine uses his bare hands and starts pulling the suit apart.
Yes.
How are you gonna pull adamantium off of adamantium if it's adamantium? He uses bare fingers to pull this motherfucker off.
Because
and
he's
jams him in the heart.
Badass.
Oh my god. Adamantium suit means you can't break it. If he had the claws and cut through it, if he'd used the saws and cut through the claws and cut through it, or fucking took his damn throat bone out, I don't give a shit. If he done something with adamantium and cut it out with adamantium,
bone, really?
Whatever, the metal somewhere in his body, it would have been okay. But he just tears it apart with his bare hands, like, oh, this is nothing to take apart.
Like I said, it's because
he could have done it with his fucking adamantium claws till the very end when he cut the head off. Oh, but that scene, he rips the head off, stabs him in the chest, like I said, with the bone claws. So I'll give you that one.
Slings him off
the daughter, slings him off the side, and he bounces, crash.
But he could still be alive. Nobody dies in a comic.
Well, you never know. Okay, so him, the granddaughter, and Jade, the redheaded warrior. It's not Jade. I don't know why I keep calling her Jade. I know why, but deal with it. It's my fucking video.
Your video?
Shut up. God. GRYPHON. And what was I going? Oh, and then you see him getting on a plane. He gets on a plane. The redheaded girl gets on with him. The granddaughter asked him to stay. He said, "I've hid long enough. I'm a soldier." which was early in the movie, and they just brought it back. I'm a soldier. I've got to keep moving. And so the movie ends with them on the plane just sitting. I mean, anticlimactic. Huh?
I think it would have been great if they'd have said, second star to the right and straight on till morning.
Not Peter Pan. They weren't that kind of flying.
Come on. I mean, there was humorous points in the movie that could have made it.
Well, to go on the credits for a minute, and then it goes into a scene, and this is cool, I won't lie, but it also makes me happy because if you like X-Men 3, you will hate this because they piss on that big time. Wolverine's trying to get through the airport, metal detector, you know, and he denies the metal detector. All of a sudden, everything metal starts floating, and he's behind Wolverine. He stops Wolverine from clawing his eyes out. Magneto stops Wolverine from clawing his eyes out, Ian McKellen, and says, "You will help me." And he goes, "There's a new weapon, and the humans have created, and we need your help." And I don't know if it's Days of Future Past or if this is going to be another Origins movie, because Magneto Origins was supposed to happen, so maybe it will now. Or, I mean, not Origins, but maybe this will be a new continuation with this director. Well, all of a sudden time stops, and he looks around like, why has time stopped? And then you see Professor X Patrick Stewart wheeling through the fucking airport and go, "You're not the only one with tricks. Or you're not the only one that can do
powers.
That has powers." So, yep, he ain't dead. He pissed on the fucking third movie. Jean Grey, you know, might have been his conscious. Jean Grey might have been his conscious, but she's in this entire movie. Patrick Stewart pissed on the third one. If they'd had Scott, no, Scott died. Apparently he wasn't there, and it wasn't Scott. If they'd had Scott in this movie standing behind Professor X, I'd have laughed my ass off. Fuck that third movie.
You were laughing as it was.
Except for Vinnie Jones. If Vinnie Jones is Juggernaut, that's the only thing she bring back. Fuck Ellen Page, fuck the rest of them. But it ended with that.
Love Professor
and then
X.
goes into the credits.
It's totally believable simply because nobody ever dies in a comic. I'm waiting for him to bring Toad back. Oh, come on.
Well, we already had her with a tongue. How many lizard tongues can you do?
Well, hey, they had two blue guys in one, so.
Okay, let's go on to trailers. We've got 3 trailers. There was 4, but one of them was Elysium, and we're just not going to talk about it because you can watch last week's video if you want to see it. The first one was, what was the first one? Paranoia. The look of it, it looked interesting. At first, I just looked like, I don't really care about this. And I really don't. I mean, it doesn't look, to me, very interesting, except for 3 things. And that's the actors in it. Gary Oldman. Lord, I forgot his name. Han Solo.
Oh, man.
Han Solo, people.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. And I forgot who the third one was.
Don't even get me the line on that one.
Oh, Siler. If any of you is Lost fans, Siler is in this movie as well. So I don't know the guy's name. Siler, Gary Oldman.
Are you talking about Lost or are you talking about Heroes?
Lost.
Oh, okay.
Not Siler. I'm sorry.
That's why I was like, wait a minute.
No, I think his name might have been Siler too. The one that was always good guy, bad guy, going between Kate and the doctor, the one that was always trying to get with Kate. That's the guy from Lost. I think it's.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
I think it's Siler too.
It may have been. I don't think it was though.
I think Skylar is the name of the one in that.
I mean, it looks like it might be a pretty good movie, but I'm not sure it'd be one that I'd want to go pay to see. You know?
It'll be a rent.
Yeah.
It won't be a scene in the theater. It'll be a rent. And also, Wolverine, doesn't matter if it's 3D or not. You ain't going to notice anything different.
Yeah, no.
Unlike Pacific Rim, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Which was also, this took place in Tokyo. That was kind of Tokyo too. So I guess it's Japan month.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies taking place.
But this ain't worth the 3D.
No.
Okay, the second one was Percy Jackson and a new Percy Jackson. I can't remember. Sea of Monsters.
Yeah, the Sea of Monsters.
It looked interesting.
It looks like they put more effort into it than they did the first one. And I'm sorry, I was very disappointed in the first one. I read the books, really loved the books, saw the movie because I was so excited, and I was very, very much let down because they cut so much out of it. I just honestly couldn't see them being able to continue with a second one. I'm interested in seeing how they're going to correct a lot of the problems that they have, storyline wise. But, But other than that, I mean, the visuals look like they're going to be really good, and I'm hoping they don't camp it up like they did the first one.
I never read the books, but I kind of like the first one. Okay, I mean it's not great, but I thought it was a pretty decent little movie and stuff. And hell, this one took what 4 years before this one came out.
Yeah, quite some time.
Apparently they weren't gonna make it. Then I guess they did. I guess fans said enough about the first one, or wanted it enough.
Well, the books are great, so I think they have a lot of material to work with.
Rent might be okay on this one. Only reason I'd go see it is because visually it did look very, very eclectic. It looked like the 3D on this one might be really good, so that could be a possibility. It looked like they had
a monster in it that looked like a Freet. If you've played any of the Final Fantasy games, the Freet is one of the best summoned monsters, and they had a monster in it that bull's head.
Yeah, looked like the devil, really.
Yeah,
it looked like the devil from This Is the End, which if you've not seen is a great movie. You ought to go see it.
Yes.
I mean, I'm if you end up wanting to watch it, or somebody else ends up wanting to watch it, I might go see it. But other than that, I mean, other than 3D, I think it'll be a rent.
Yeah, I can't really see watching it in 3D because, I mean, they'd have to really come across with some awesome effects to make it worth it.
Well, it looked pretty. I mean, the 3D glasses, the trailer in 3D looked very pretty.
Yeah.
And I love that word, pretty, 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 pretty.
Yeah, you're rocking that word tonight.
And the last one is Two Guns. Denzel Washington and I forgot.
Mark Wahlberg?
Marky Mark.
Mark Wahlberg, yes, definitely. I want to see it just because it looks like...
Feel the vibration.
It looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. Again, not so sure I want to go to the movies to see it, but, you know, it looks like it'd be full of a lot of action.
For me, this will be one to Netflix. They're trying to bring back the Bad Boys 2 Lethal Weapon buddy cop movie, but they're not cops and they are cops, but one doesn't like the other one, and then they end up having to working together. This really I
hate you, but let's be partners.
This movie just not it does not interest me. I love Lethal Weapon movies, and I liked Bad Boys.
But in the day they were cutting edge. I mean, that was kind of a new thing to have the two people who can't stand each other having to work together. Nowadays, I mean, it's been done many, many times, and
it's the same movie Mark Wahlberg always makes. Yo, I'm a tough guy, but I got funny jokes I can make in here.
And on the inside, I'm soft and caring.
No, he's not. He'd not even play that. He's like, yo, I'm from Southie.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but he tries to pull it off. He kind of tries to pull off I can be tough and sensitive too.
He's been in one or two movies I can deal with, but like I said, I like how he plays that character sometimes. Like The Departed, he was great.
That's one I haven't seen.
But it was good. It was actually pretty good. But I mean, I'm just not really interested in this movie at all. So, final thoughts about movie or credits or trailers?
Well, I mean, again, the Percy Jackson is the one that's going to get me because it's one of those make or break. If the second one sucks as bad as the first one, I won't watch anymore. From that point, I just will not watch anymore. Did Twilight the same way. First one sucked. Watched the second one, it sucked. Have not seen any of the others. The other two, again, not really too interested in seeing him in the movie theaters. Maybe rent, most likely, when it comes to the $5 bin. I mean, I know it's terrible, but it's true.
And final thoughts on Wolverine?
I thought it was good.
Recommendations?
It was... I think it'd be better as a rental because, I mean, it was a good movie, but it was very predictable. It was story-driven, but the story was just too easy to guess what was going on.
I have to agree. I mean, it's okay. Like I said, 3D doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference in this movie.
Not
It is
at
a very good-looking movie. It was, I ain't saying that damn word.
Pretty. It was pretty.
It's a very good looking movie visually. The stunts and stuff were great, except for the few, like I said, the train one.
One scene was the best with the ninjas.
Yes, it was.
That was the best scene of the entire movie.
I agree. But my recommendation on it is, it's a go see if you're a Marvel fan or a Wolverine fan in general. If you like the other X-Men movies, the 1, 2, and 3, if you like 3, I'll just shoot you. But if you like 1 and 2, it's worth seeing. He's a great Hugh Jackman plays a great Wolverine. As for that, it's worth seeing. I think you should see it. Maybe wait for a rent if you can wait. If you're not as big a
And I've
comic
just
buff
now
as I
put
am.
my finger on it. It feels like an extra long lead in to something bigger.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like a prequel to a new series of X-Men movies.
And if they come through with something great, then it's definitely worth it. But
Well, if they
time
follow
will
this,
tell on that.
but it was a real obvious movie. There'll be no surprises in it. Nothing will catch you off guard if you pay the littlest bit of attention.
Yeah.
It's a watch if you're a comic book fan or a Hugh Jackman fan, like some of you ladies are. Otherwise, just wait for it to video or stream it. I mean, that's the best way I can say. Well, thanks. Subscribe, like, and we love to hear your comments. I mean, comment away. Good, bad, I don't give a crap. I just want to hear what y'all think. If you liked it, you hated it. If this helped you out, make your decision. Watching probably an hour and a half of this, I'm sorry. Try to make it shorter next time. And thanks, and keep on watching.